I was a little child at the moment looking at the adult world, I would think that adults have all gone stir crazy. You know, the little children are meant to look up to adults for like guidance and authority, and it just seems like the adults are behaving extremely weirdly. So I would say to little children, don't let that bother you. Like, the adults will be normal again in time, but just please don't be scared about the world or life, because it's like almost like the adults are trying to scare you into being afraid of things which don't actually exist. Now, if you're below the age of 50, it doesn't affect you. If you're between 50 and 80, you have to be careful, obviously, because you're getting older. But the people who are at most risk are the people over 80, as they're always at risk, unfortunately, just because of their particular age. And the people over 80, really only if you have underlying health conditions will you be somebody that needs to take precautions. But for everybody else, and especially for young people and children, there is no risk. There is no risk. So if you're a child, don't be scared of the world, because I know that sometimes little children growing up can be scared of all of this sort of thing that they don't understand. Just don't be scared. Don't be scared. And just be strong, basically. And I have to say that because I see little kids like walking about. The parents have got them in masks and everything like that. If I was a little child wearing a mask, I'd be scared out my brain about what this world is coming to. So what I'm saying is just don't go along with that. If you're a kid, don't go along with that. Anyway, enough said about that. I want to talk about something really, really positive that we did. Any news on the draconian hate speech law? I'm going to speak about that later. That's coming up. There is some news. A lot of people still are coming forward really opposed to it, but going to get onto that shortly. Morwina there, good to see you. Just hate children won't understand, and it'll be scary for the little ones. Absolutely. And they're just being like, it's like just living in a massive Chitty Chitty Bang Bang film, you know. If you're a little kid, it must be just like, this is too much. Or what was that other one? The Willy Wonka factory. You know, these films that came out in the early 1970s that were like totally weird. And if you're a little kid growing up, you were like, they traumatized you for the next 30 years. It must be just like that, like a massive Chitty Chitty Bang Bang film that you're stuck in. Yeah, what was I talking about? Somebody said, well said, thanks. Somebody saying, just don't let them watch the news. That's true. In fact, adults shouldn't watch the news. I recommend that you stop watching the news, because the news contrives to frighten you, to make you feel small and alone, to make you feel that your life isn't your own. Love quoting that line from Morrissey, from his song Spent the Day in Bed. But great wisdom in that song, no question about it. Stop watching the news, because you can wake up in the morning and it's the sun's shining, the birds are singing, open the window, nice breeze comes in, and you're happy as Larry. You switch on the news and you see Nicola Sturgeon, and for the rest of the day you are livid. Okay, so it's about what information you take into your mind. Okay, what information comes into your mind, and if you're just allowing stuff that makes you annoyed to come into your mind, then you'll go through life annoyed. So you have to moderate it, and then when you do engage with it, you need to have a certain stand-off attitude to it and try to apply your own brain. You know, the old Peter Simple, they used to say that it would be better to do anything than to watch the television news. It would be better to cut off the buttons of your shirt and then sew them back on again, was the example that he used. Just do anything other than watch the mainstream news, which basically mainstream news is a massive propaganda machine. And when it gets a bee in its bonnet against something that it doesn't like, then it will go all out. When it gets something that it likes, it will go all out. And you see that like with their anti-Brexit attitude of the entire mainstream media. You see it with the pro-BLM stuff, you know, which it is just crazy. They push that crazily, the entire mainstream media. And they've got the power to do that. But the power is weakening to an extent because more and more people see through them, and more people have come to understand it. For years now, we've been fed a vision of life which isn't entirely accurate. And we've been led along.